Okay, so yesterday we talked about Cushing's disease, which is too much cortisol or adrenal hormones in the bloodstream and how it affects the body. And so today I want to talk about the opposite, which is Addison's disease. And Addison's disease is when they don't have enough cortisol, and they may also be missing what are called mineralocorticoids, which are in charge of electrolyte function, so sodium, chloride, potassium. So depending on which part of the adrenal gland is affected, if it's the whole adrenal gland or just part of it, these dogs may have to be supplemented with a low dose of prednisone. They also may need an injection monthly of the medication for the electrolyte balance. Symptoms are kind of how I feel this morning, adrenal burnout. Symptoms are lethargy, weakness. If it progresses enough and isn't detected, vomiting and diarrhea will occur. So I had, I think one of the first cases that I diagnosed a lot of years ago, the dog, every time they would have a party or they'd travel, they'd do something stressful, the dog would develop diarrhea. And sometimes it would vomit a little bit. And so the dog would come in, we give it some fluids and treat it for vomiting and diarrhea. And, you know, within a day or so, it would always recover. And then finally, on one of the visits, you know, after about the fifth time, you know, the woman was starting to connect the dots that and the lab work on the dog was normal. So this one can be a little tricky to get diagnosed. The woman was starting to connect the dots that it seemed to be associated with times of stress. And she said, you know, the dog used to be able to go for long walks, and now the dog can barely get to the mailbox and back, and it's just like worn out. Like it, you know, it's put the quarter in the little, you know, ride at the fairgrounds, and his quarter was running out much quicker. And that was kind of the aha moment for me. And so we actually did a ACTH stim, which we talked about yesterday, to stimulate the adrenals and see how much cortisol they produced, and they weren't producing any. So that dog only needed cortisol replacement, so we put him on a very, very low dose of prednisone, and it is a low dose. It's like 1 milligram a day. Put him on that, and the dog never had a problem again. So, you know, it's an easy fix if that's all they need. The ones that need the electrolyte fix too, they're a little trickier because they need a monthly injection, and that's a little more expensive. But these dogs can do very well. People ask me a lot of times, you know, what to do food-wise, and it really is just really good blood tonics and Jing tonics for these guys, because it's an overall depletion. So we want to support spleen function and support kidney function for these guys. And I've seen a really weird presentation of Addison's disease in 3 dogs now. A boxer, a pointer, and a Weimaraner, I think was the other. No, it was a Dalmatian. Where the only symptom that the dog has, with normal lab work, everything else normal, the only symptom that they have is lethargy and going from a short boxer coat to a curly coat, almost like the Cavaliers, only not as long. Really weird. So I've had 3 dogs that present with this really weird coat. So if your dog suddenly becomes lethargic and changes from a slick short hair to a coarse wavy hair, look for Addison's disease, even if the lab work is normal. So, okay. No, you've got to, for those guys who are missing the electrolyte function, that's an injectable treatment. So, okay, we're going to get going. I got a ton of stuff to do today, a bunch of interviews, all kinds of stuff going on. So everybody have a wonderful day, and enjoy it. Enjoy hump day. I'm going to go back to Pookie's list.